Here is the very first prototype of the hinge spring. It is not able to hold itself up. And as you can see from my highly scientific test equipment, it is too stiff to be triggered by a ball. So I'm gonna modify it a bit. I'm gonna take a bunch of weight off of here, and I'm gonna add a counterweight to the bottom and try and get it as close to sort of neutral as possible, and maybe see if I can reduce as much tension on this as possible. Maybe leave a little bit on. I haven't tested to see how much spring tension I can remove yet, so we're gonna see how this all works, see if I can get it to the point where a light touch will send it back and have it return, but not so light that the wind can trigger it. So let's see how that goes. Have replaced a lot of the steel structure here. This back plate is now a 3D printed placeholder. It will be cut out of this, I believe, polycarbonate. There's a counterweight attached to the back plate, and the counterweight is constructed of 3D printed kind of tubular housing, I guess, with some steel discs in it that I had laying around. So the action now looks like this. I suspect this 3D print will fail if I hit it hard with a football, but I think I need to try it and see what happens, because it feels like it should be sort of triggerable by a nice throw. So there's nothing. Woo. So that was a pretty light throw. Let's try one more time. I guess a little harder without trying to destroy everything in my shop. Good stuff. All right, now I gotta wire up this sensor. Hopefully it works as hoped, where even a little bit of deflection from this results in it moving beyond the range of the capacitive sensor or inductive sensor, whichever it is, and triggers the Arduino, so that even like little hits will trigger it a bit. I think it'll be fine, adjustable based on how I designed it. So yeah, oh, that's the one thing, is if it goes too far, it doesn't return. So I need to have a back block that kind of stops it here, I think. If I tighten the spring anymore, it becomes less movable by a football. So I think we just want to have a sort of backstop. Yeah. Looking good. Okay, a couple of closing thoughts for tonight. This sheet metal plate, I think it's 14 gauge mild steel, is as thin as you'd want to go with steel, but probably heavier than you'd want, because this is probably already reaching the upper limit of what the entire target weight should be. So maybe a thin sheet of wood, or maybe polycarbonate would be fine. I think that we're gonna want to get some second opinions on that. I've never made a target that's supposed to last through this sort of thing in both, you know, this environment, and needs to be lightweight. So I would say try some stuff out, try and get away from the steel. This weight, this counterbalance weight, the arm is a bit longer. I think than we want it to be ultimately, given the fact that this is going to be kind of mounted to the saguaro like right here. We want to keep the height of the overall target assembly as low as possible to the saguaro, and this is already exceeding that. So if we bring the length of this up a little bit, and this is just 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter aluminum extrusion, and then add more weight, it should accomplish basically the same effect. It will be slightly different because you'll have more weight at a smaller radius. So the moment arm will be lower, which I believe should have maybe a lower moment of inertia. I honestly, it's really late. I can't think of whether that would be a greater or a lower moment of inertia. But, you know, you want to match the weight of this thing as much as possible and then keep the spring pretty loose on this. And yeah, so I think we can get away from steel. If the polycarbonate is as strong as they say it is, then we can just use that. And this thing should be good to rock and roll. But yeah, I think the general concept is here. We have most of the parts. We'll just need to order some aluminum extrusion and build them up, get them out.